sake.
Oh.
There we go.
I'm
Look
like
at
completely
that.
swapped, like, for love.
Yeah, it's weird because you think you're
Right.
You're not. It confuses me too, and I've been doing this for years. So
I mean, season 7.
Hello?
Get together.
Here we are.
We're on Facebook, YouTube.
So this was not what I was originally wearing. I just wanted everybody to know that. But I felt left out, so Felicia found me a leopard print shirt. So
and
that
of course I had one.
Right. I mean, if I had known, if I'd gotten the memo, I could have.
It wasn't on purpose.
This wasn't planned.
It just happened.
Actually, to be fair, even if I had gotten the memo, I probably still wouldn't have been wearing it because it would have required digging, and I can't do that because I'm broken right now. So this is what you get.
Oh, anyway. So...
I'm just saying.
Welcome to Season 7, Episode 16. I'm Felicia Minor, and that is the broken down Freddy Prinze Charming.
A little bit broken.
I need you and Joan to stay pieced together long enough.
I just need to hold out until March 29th. March 29th, I
mean, even the night of. Just...
Right.
I mean... Piece it together. Get your life. It's your Wednesday night conversation, and for more than 6 years, God, why do they keep coming back? It's been more than just the gossip. Though we can get into it. It's the issues that matter most to you. Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe, your Wednesday night conversation. Oh, I thought I deleted that. Anyway, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We know. We know.
I still don't.
It's fine. It's fine. If we start making money from it, you'll know what it is.
Oh.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yes. We're brought to you by Shelly Love Creative. You can find her at ShellyLoveCreative.com, WigsOfAKind.com, and the Burly Barbers.
I got an appointment for Saturday.
I do too. When are you going?
Oh my God, what time?
No, what time are you going?
No, okay, same time, ready? 1, 2,
No, I want to know
3.
what time you're going, because they always give you the earlier time.
No, I asked for a later time. I have something else that I'm doing earlier that day.
Okay. I'm going at noon.
I'm going at 3.
Okay.
I'm busy at noon.
Because once I
have things to do.
We always book it on the same day, and then they give him the earlier one.
It's because they like me better. I'm cuter.
Ow. Karma's alive and well. There she is. There she is.
Old. Fuck. Oh, God.
And we couldn't do all this without the support of our Patreon supporters like Joan, Leanne, Allison, Corey, Carrie, Brandon, and KC Star. Because I went into the thing and I saw all the...
So I just have to say this real quick. I can't log into our Patreon because it's under...
it's not my email.
No, but it's our email. But when I try to log into it from my phone, it wants to send me a confirmation email.
Oh.
I don't have access to that email.
Yes, you do. It's the same password.
I tried that.
Oh, I didn't change it.
Well, it's not working.
Oh God.
Are you prepping for a new co-host?
No.
Is this my audition?
Congratulations.
That's why you didn't get the memo on the leopard. Sorry.
That would be why. God damn it.
Sorry.
So
awkward.
Sorry.
That's how you know you're fired when you can't get into your email anymore. You're like, shit.
That's usually the first that happens.
Yeah.
They change your
They
access.
block you
I
out.
would have told you on a Friday so that you can
it.
get your stuff out.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Oh, fuck.
Brittany loves my eyebrows.
Is Brittany blind?
Is this the most amazing thing about me tonight?
Whose eyebrows? Felicia's eyebrows? Really?
Serving looks.
That's okay. I mean,
no.
we cater to everybody here.
Mm-hmm.
We should start putting subtitles on for people that watch us that are hearing impaired.
I don't trust. We talk so loud sometimes. I picture that going so wrong, so fast.
It never gets it right.
It would be like, yas, and then it would be like, ass. And I would be like, oh shit, we fucked this up.
God.
We fucked it up again. But you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/let's have a fefe. And tonight our guest is Sister Indica.
Hello. Hello, world.
She's sitting here so well behaved and quiet. I don't understand this behavior.
I'm just trying to be respectful.
For now.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You know.
Please.
Let's get to the intro first.
Yes. Okay.
Before I,
Okay.
get
Right.
crazy.
Right. Okay, then we'll get there.
Well.
We'll get there.
Well then.
So, Felicia, what'd you do this weekend?
So we did the big. Oh well. Let's talk about Friday night. I hate people that don't respect your time.
Mm-hmm.
When you know that you have other things to be doing, but they still disrespect your time. So, the reason why I was late, since many of the people that attend bingo are on our show, I was late because I was waiting for a printer to deliver something for an event that we were having on Saturday. Thank you, Ryan, for the screenshot. Anyway.
Now, mind you, Felicia wasn't just Felicia late. Felicia was, I think you were about a little bit over an hour late.
And I don't like being like that. So
normally, we can expect Felicia for usually be
like
about
10,
10, 15 minutes late. That's to be expected.
But I was sending messages all over. I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm late. Oh my God.
I knew it wasn't like just Felicia being late. It was.
I was like, if this guy does not get here right now. And then I call him, and he goes, oh, well, we're just finishing up.
I'd kill somebody.
I'm like, but boo, it's 5:30. You were supposed to be here at 4:30.
Yeah, no, I'd have killed somebody. I don't know. That's one thing. I have zero tolerance for that shit.
I mean, Jesus. Oh, man,
I don't put up with it.
No, I would have.
I have OCD and I'm German. I'm always early.
But I can say that I got a hefty little discount.
I was gonna say they better have. I'm like,
Did you
I can go. I'll let me talk to your manager. I can have no problem.
No.
You don't seem like a yeller. You seem like you would be, very professional about it. Are you a yeller?
I'm a yeller, and then I'll get to that point where I'm like, and then I just get really quiet, and then everybody at work just wonders what happened.
That's like me. If I'm really quiet, like if I'm not fired up, if I'm like,
or if they just saw me really angry, and then it just happened,
then you know there's.
Then they're like, oh shit,
it's a real problem.
That shit's going down.
Okay, my hair is not working for me, so I'm gonna put my hand on.
Dean, Germans are not late.
Most.
No.
Absolutely not.
No. Germans are not late.
Ugh.
I grew up. One of my best friends is half German, and there's punctuality is in their DNA.
In our DNA,
like
baby.
that's that. Yeah, no, Germans are not late.
I'm not intentionally late.
Anyway,
well, you were on time today.
Because I left work on time.
Right, funny how that works.
All right.
So we did Cat Bingo on Friday. I basically did pageant stuff all weekend.
But we did cool.
We did. Sunday was cool pageant stuff.
But we can't talk about it.
We can't talk about it. I know. That's the whole thing.
# secret project.
Right. So, like, Saturday I did pageant stuff. I did some more running around, run some errands. It was pageant related. Sunday started with rehearsal, which went really well. I'm really excited about how this is going. And then Sunday after rehearsal was another pageant related thing that I can't talk about it because it's all very secret and everything,
I love secret projects.
But it was good. It was fun, and I really do. I posted when I was a little bit stoned on Vicodin on Monday night.
You got any more?
I do, actually. It's not with me.
Damn it!
So, and you both have to drive.
Well, so what's funny is the Vicodin I have is all expired because I've been prescribed Vicodin for every surgery that I've ever had. I don't take it because
they give it to you for everything.
Right, they give it to you for everything, and I don't like the way it makes me feel. So, like, even when I had top surgery, I think I took 2 whole Vicodins the entire time, and then the rest of it was like a half. So I just have a shit ton of Vicodin, which all it does is when they give you the expiration date, it's like it's more the sort of the potency.
Right, it kind of starts to go
down. But for me, it doesn't matter anyway. It was because I was in pain because I threw out my back on Monday because I'm fucking old. So what happened was...
Can you see
God
that
damn
in
it.
closed captioning?
Right.
What happened was...
Oh,
So,
it'll totally ruin
Monday afternoon, it was a little bit of a slow day at work, and I actually had time to sort of take a lunch. Normally, I don't really take a lunch. I
Keeping
work
in mind
through
he
it.
works at home.
Right. But if I'm working and stuff, like, depending on what I'm working on, even if I work from home, I don't always have time to stop, make food, whatever. So I was like, oh, I have a little bit of time. So I decided I was going to get up and actually run through my talent number. I was going to make good use of my time because we were a little bit slow, right? So I stand up and I start running through it. And then I'm not anymore. I moved my arms and my back decided it didn't want to work anymore. Yeah, that was not so awesome. I ended up like...
Are those pity hearts?
Thank you, right?
Aww.
I took a bath. I used up the last of my... thanks. I used up the last of my Epsom salts. I know.
I just found some.
No, I went to Fry's because I was getting stuff. I'm like, fuck. And I sat in the bathtub for so long that like all the water eventually ended up running out. And I'm sitting there and I couldn't really bend to turn the water back on. And it was a struggle for me to get out, so I'm just sitting there like, I guess I live here now. I'm just going to stay right here. It's fine. I'm going to train the dogs to bring me food, and it'll be fine. Totally fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, so, and I'm
fiance
still...
would come over every once in a while, I guess.
I would hope so.
Drop
So
some
I'm
things
still
in the
dealing
turn
with that.
you,
Like,
keep it from,
right,
you know.
roll me around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still dealing with that. I'm definitely better than I was. I had a 90-minute massage yesterday.
Oh. I had one of those on Saturday. I had a 2-hour massage.
Yeah. And sometimes it's necessary. Like, I'm like, I think I have to work that into
Though
my
you know
budget.
it's bad when
you know,
the massage therapist is like, you might want to loosen your back
Oh.
before you come in here. And
I
I'm
got
like,
told.
oh my
so
God, was it that tight back there?
My left side.
How the hell do you loosen your back?
I don't
so,
know.
did you know that you're like the in the Eastern sort of modalities, your body is split in half, right? So you have the female side and the male side. The left side is the female side. The right side is male. My left side is one gigantic knot.
Oh, my right side is the one that's off.
Left side, like, she's in there, and she's like, I can't even get this muscle to move. Like, she's like, my hands are basically bouncing off this muscle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I can't get in there. Like, she did all sorts of different things. We tried cupping. We did everything we could possibly do. I feel better.
See, this is why you should give to our Patreon, because we're broken.
Right? And then
Please.
she's like,
Yeah.
she's massaging my arms, and she's like, huh, what do you do for a living? I'm like, and she's like, because I only find forearms this tight on auto mechanics and hairdressers. I'm guessing you're neither of those. I'm like,
Presumptuous.
Well, fuck her. Well, you don't work on cars.
I don't work on cars, no. And I'm like, no. I'm like, but does that give me butch points? I have the forearms of an auto mechanic, which isn't really a good thing. It wasn't in terms of like muscle. It was in terms of how tight they were and how jacked up.
Or a chronic masturbator.
That too. Except that doesn't apply to me. So that's not exactly the same. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. So, yeah, I have the arms of, the forearms of an auto mechanic, and the left side of my body is one gigantic knot. So.
You said that's the female side.
That's the female side, yeah.
Are you over 40?
I will be
Soon
in about 6 months.
I could tell. Because when we get to this age is when we start talking about our body problems.
Right.
You know, like my best friend Big Mel and I will just like talk for at length about whatever's going wrong with her, whatever's going wrong with me.
Right.
And I'm just like, this is who we are.
That's
now.
what we do.
This is who we are now.
Does it drive
True
you crazy?
story.
Does it drive you crazy when you hear somebody who's 25 going, "Oh my God, I'm so broken. I'm so old." I'm like,
well,
bitch.
it did, but
They have different kind of pain.
but also it's like whatever age you are, that's the oldest you've ever been. So it's
Oh,
like, you know,
true. I
and
never thought
it's
about it
like
that.
that's like the oldest you've ever been. That's to you. That is, you are old because that's it. But it depends on how you lived your life. Like, I see people, they're like, oh, they're a young 60, or they're really, or because I go hiking all the time.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just always dragging my old fat ass up the hill, whatever hill that may be, and you see these people are like 60, 70, and they're just like passing by me. And it's because they were healthy 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 40. They were healthy and they got older. I've been a mess my whole life. Right. I will hobble. I'll be hobbling.
Right.
You know,
we can hobble together.
It's not my age. It's because
that's fine. We can hobble together. My partner lives right at the base of North Mountain. We can go and hobble up North Mountain.
If anything, she can dial really quickly. And
is there any cell service over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My partner will like run the fuck up the hill, and I'm like, all right,
I cautioned her to dial 911 first. She can't carry both of you down.
I would just stay up there. It's fine. It's very steep. If you just push me, I'll just...
I went hiking recently, and I thought I was having a heart attack. Literally, like a legit...
Are you serious?
Yes! A legit heart attack where I was having like shortness of breath, lightheadedness, and my partner, you know, he's older than me, but looks way younger than me, and is way more fit than me. He's just like, okay, like, are you... Like, do you have the pain up the arm? Like, where are we at here? Because he was like, I'm gonna be so embarrassed if we have to like helicopter you out of here. I'll be so embarrassed. I'm like, well, I'm so happy that it's your...
I'm sorry I'm an inconvenience.
I'm sorry that I'm dying. I hope that doesn't inconvenience you and embarrass you.
I will try to not embarrass you the next time I die. So
right.
Don't worry about it. You know, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just tell the newscopters to fly that way.
Because someone had to get picked up. There was a helicopter going. He's like, and that could have been you. And I'm just like, I would have been so embarrassed.
God damn it.
Wow, concern. This is what 20 years together is like. When you were together with someone that long.
I totally get that. I actually sent because my partner she's a hiker, she's a backpacker. Like, she will go out to Joshua Tree and hike 20 miles out type of thing. Like, this is what she does, right? She loves it. Me, not so much. I'm like,
I'll meet you there.
Right, I'm up here.
I'm gonna get the quad.
And I sent her a meme that had like a backpacking dude or whatever, and it was like he was like, dude, chill out, okay? My 5-year-old just did this with no shoes on, carrying a naked Barbie. I think you can handle it, you know? Because she always makes fun of me. Because even if I'm walking around, like just walking around the neighborhood, I'm like, all right, let me put my shoes on. Let me grab my water real quick. Let me, you know, and she's like, we're just going around. I'm like, I gotta put my shoes on, because otherwise my feet will hurt if I don't put on my shoes.
You need arch support.
Right, I have to put on my shoes. Let me grab my water. This is Arizona. And she's like,
no iced tea. You don't want to get crystals.
No.
Yeah.
You know, good water, and you know, my
Nabi Ho says hi.
Oh, hey, girl.
So yeah.
Hey. Yeah, we're old. We're getting old. It's okay.
Oh.
I know.
We're still alive, right?
Yes, for the most part.
That's my partner is fine with it. She calls me an old man, and
I mean, we're dead inside.
Right.
We're alive.
Correct.
I've been dead inside for a while now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. Speaking of being dead inside, it doesn't really. That segue didn't really work.
You know, when I listen to this back, I'm just gonna...
So, my tip for the evening...
That doesn't relate at all.
I know, that's why I said the segue didn't work. I couldn't come up with a good one.
Oh,
you're trying.
I know. I usually come up with a good segue into the tip, and I got nothing.
It's okay. I threw you off. Threw you off your game.
No, sometimes it just, like, it doesn't work.
A couple weeks ago, he had a really horrible one.
Sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, it has to... You know, there's been a couple times it just doesn't work. But anyway, so my tip this evening, we are going to talk about the unrealistic things that mainstream porn teaches us.
Loud noises that you can't.
So, okay, so here, the thing is that most, like, school-aged... What?
Not like that. Not like the horrible...
Oh, yeah, porn noises are bad.
Oh my god, do it again.
Porn noises are bad. Okay, so most school-aged kids, like teens, tend to learn about sex from porn, especially with it being so accessible.
Is it?
No. And often because they feel that the sex ed in their schools is completely inadequate. So they go looking for other things, and instead of, like, you know, I don't know, Googling appropriate things, they just go to, like, Pornhub.
Right.
And...
Oh, that's not the Encyclopedia of Sex.
That was an episode of Blackish.
Was it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See?
She was Googling to try to find out more, and it was a porn video. And
right. See? So
I think we all learned that.
What? Did we?
I don't know.
I don't think we did.
I didn't have Google.
Right? We didn't have Google. We didn't have the internet.
I didn't have a computer. I had nothing. I had Playgirl.
Yeah.
That doesn't teach me anything. It was just the only porn I had.
Right. You know, I had access to, let's see, in high school I was in Bangkok, so I had access to some really interesting shows, but, again...
Can you elaborate for us?
Women shooting ping pong balls out of certain areas and blowing out candles.
Oh, that is
things.
So trite.
Like, not
so
super
classy.
Educational.
I want to see someone shoot darts.
They do. No, they do. Yes. No.
Oh, here
they,
I think I'm innovative.
Oh my god!
I think I'm innovative.
No, she actually had a dude hold a balloon and pop that shit.
Oh
well,
my god! Where
like
is this? Hold on.
That's interesting.
It's so.
Can I Google
that
again, right now?
Probably. But again, not super educational when it comes to, actual, like, sex things.
Right.
Yeah. So, let's see. Some of the unrealistic things we learned from porn. Penis size.
Yeah.
Average size in the U.S. is 5.1 inches.
I feel like
which isn't awful. It's perfectly... It's perfectly adequate. Like...
It gets the job done.
I personally, when, if someone comes at me with a massive penis, I'm like,
where's it going?
Like, where do you want to put that? Things, especially when it comes to vaginal sex, there is a wall there, folks.
Oh my god.
Going, So,
is that why Donald Trump is so obsessed with walls?
Probably.
Does he keep hitting a wall?
Probably. He's not that big, honey.
Well, maybe she's shallow. Maybe she's
she's put up a barrier. That's the problem.
Right.
She's like installed
her own wall.
Right. She's installed her own wall, so every time it's like right at the entrance, and it's just bam, bam, bam. That's
Y'all are so.
He thinks he's hitting the cervix. She's like, jokes on you, motherfucker. No. Porn seems to think that it gives us.
She said, break down that wall.
Oh, yeah, see? Yeah, we're going to talk about the nails in a minute. So, yeah, penis size is obviously one of those things that, you watch porn and every guy is this big and, and every penis looks normal in porn.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Most of them do. When it comes to mainstream
curvy.
porn, like, they don't want ones that look too, like...
around the corner jump on.
Right, like they don't want them to bend in weird places and whatever. They want them to look fairly normal. Lesbian porn made for straight men.
I have no reference point.
Awful.
You had me with the dick, but then you lost me.
This shit is the worst shit ever. Just for shits and giggles, you should just like Google like lesbian porn. It is the worst. Like just go to Pornhub and put in lesbian. It is the worst shit ever.
Well, that's not true. I have seen some lesbian porn, and actually I've seen it recently.
Was it, like, the lesbian porn made for straight men, or was it, like...
Well, it was these two porn stars from Australia.
Okay.
Or Australia or England. They're the cock destroyers. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go destroy cocks, babe. Why is it just slut, babe? And they're all, like, real sexual. They have sex with men, too, but they always hook up with each other. It's very aggressive, their porn.
And that's one of the...
realistic aggressive?
No!
They're just, I followed them because of the memes. They were so funny making memes. Then I had to unfollow it just because it grossed me out.
Yeah. And that's one of the... Okay, so lesbian porn that's designed for straight men is usually very aggressive. Yeah. Like, you see there's a lot of...
Are we talking like
spitting and slapping and, like, really awkward things that most normal... And I can say this... Most actual lesbians are not like you can be, especially if you're in like a BDSM relationship, you can have that power play and whatever. But the aggression that comes out of this, like, it's really bizarre. Like, it's like, the fuck are you doing? Like, there's a lot of weird jabbing things and slapping things and spitting on things, and it's like,
or man's hands disappearing.
And nails for some reason, like. You always see them with, like, these long manicured nails, and as a lesbian, if anybody had come at me with long, I would have been like, no.
Tear that shit up.
Tear that wall down.
Like, what I don't think, and I watch this sometimes, and I'm like, she has got to be getting her insides torn the fuck up. Ugh. Because legitimately, long nails will hurt. They will cut you. They will,
and they are long nails in the poop.
Like, they're not comfortable, like, at all. And I'm watching these women with these, like, long nails just jabbing, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm surprised that they're not bloody.
It makes me cringe when they, like, go in and they're like, whoop! And I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna tear it off!
Oh, God, I know they do these weird things. I'm like, no, wait, what the hell are you doing?
I'm like, you might as well just stick a razor blade in there and call it a day.
And when it comes to, like, I
wasn't prepared for this, guys.
Right.
Lord.
And, like, the lesbian porn for straight men always seems to, like, they're always doing it for the sort of
thrill.
No, there's always a guy involved somehow.
Yeah, or he, like, happens to be there.
Right, there's always something. They're also usually wearing really, really, really bad, like, gigantic strap-ons that are usually made out of an awful material in a harness that I don't know how this harness is even holding this thing in place. And none of them, like, if you watch them, you can tell they've never topped anybody in their life. Because they have no idea what they're doing. They can't find a rhythm. It's really awkward. And it's like, oh.
She's there for the check.
No. Stop. Just
stop.
Just stop. Like,
she's there. Awful. She showed up.
I mean, as long as
can you find someone to show up to work? Like,
I mean,
that's half the battle, isn't it?
Terrible.
You guys book shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's half the battle.
Right?
Show up on time. Like, hey, sometimes you just gotta hire the people that'll show up.
Fuck. Another thing that you see a lot, and mind you, this isn't we're talking about the unrealistic expectations when it comes to porn translated to real life, and when you have teenagers or whatever watching this, they can end up thinking that what happens in porn, right, is true to life. So that's what these things are talking about. So the lack of protection can be concerning. More and more porn videos now are actually using condoms, which is amazing, but you never see gloves, and you never see dental dams.
No, you don't.
I saw a fisting one.
There are.
They had gloves.
There are some. Usually, it's not the mainstream ones. Usually, it's the
this
more.
This wasn't an amateur.
No, not amateur. Like there are professional.
Low budget.
There are professional ones they're not mainstream, they're more queer-oriented. And the more queer-oriented ones will use gloves, will use dental dams, will use, but as far as the mainstream...
Still socially conscious of them.
Right. As far as the mainstream porn, you don't see any of that shit, hardly any. Like, condoms now more than there were, but gloves and dental dams, never. So I can just imagine, somebody being like, hey, that's fine, you can do this, but here's a glove. They're going to be like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
The dental dam is a real boner killer.
Right. And then you're like, dental dam, what the hell are you supposed to do with this? Like, and no, they're not taught about it. They're not, so that's something, and even when it comes to condoms.
They make specialized veterinary
gloves. Oh my God, right. The ones that come up to your elbows for getting into a cow's ass. Yeah.
No.
Most porn videos are all about the money shot. So you have this guy that's pounding away at whoever, and mostly when it comes to straight porn. So, because when it comes to gay porn, it tends to be a little bit more real because there's certain things you can't really fake.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things you can, there's some things you cannot. Like, you can't...
Can we do away with the shots that are, like, under the balls? I don't really get that.
Right, like the weird, like it was like taking a selfie, but the reverse camera.
You're like,
the
angle's weird.
The angle's weird.
Yeah.
How do we get here?
It's just not flattering.
How do we get down here? Oh! Now we're above. We're in the ceiling. Back down to the balls.
Right.
Down.
Yeah.
We had a good view.
Now
we're like
not a lot of continuity.
Yeah,
right.
You're like
I'm trying to be artistic,
Oh.
So it's all about the money shot, which basically comes across as I'm just going to go ahead and do whatever, but it's really all about me, and as long as I finish, then that's all that matters.
Can we talk about straight porn, how, like, the male is always dominant in the picture, or, like, the lady is, like, the helpless lover that's like, oh my god.
My favorite are the ones where the chick on the cover... The chick on the cover is, like, crying with, like, a massive cock just, like, lying on her cheek, and she's got, like, jizz all over her face, and her mascara's running. Yeah, because that's really classy.
I mean, we could do it with strong women.
I'm hard.
Right.
You're speaking my language.
Right. You know, so, again, this is... We're not saying that there's anything wrong with these things. It's
you're judging. You're judging. You're kink shaming. Kink shaming.
Oh, trust me, I'm not kink shaming. But it's all about
dicks across your face and crying is what you do.
More power to you. You know. But again, it's about the teenagers and stuff that are finding these things and thinking that this is normal behavior and expect this from whoever their sexual
I guess she didn't like it. She didn't cry.
Right. The fact that pretty much everybody is shaved completely. Yeah. Especially in straight porn.
That's the bar.
Everybody is shaved. You have no body hair. Who wants body hair? You have to, whatever. And that creates issues for women because then men have this expectation.
Well, don't come for me during the winter time, dude. I don't shave.
Men have this expectation that women are going to be completely bald, basically. And if they're not, then it's like, ew, that's gross. Why aren't you, So you do not have to be hair-free to be attractive. I'm just going to throw that out there.
It's kind of gross. It's very, like, pedophilia.
It's very supposed to be that way, yeah.
Like, I understand some people like it for hygiene reasons, and you know what I mean? But I'm...
In the summertime, I shave for hygiene reasons.
Can a woman comment about chafing, being completely bald? Doesn't that, like... Isn't there chafing? Isn't it more sweaty? Like, doesn't the hair help regulate things?
Not necessarily.
I can go into this.
Like for me, you're welcome.
What are you gonna go into?
No, I'm just saying.
For me, I don't shave completely because that's just weird for me. I don't think it's weird, but I always keep things very neat and tidy.
Right.
Mostly because
very, very respectful.
Mostly because
when it starts
getting like longer, that's when I start getting irritated.
Evelyn says the hair down there is supposed to be protective.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm saying, Evelyn.
I'm just saying.
Also my mother's name too.
Oh, just say that.
Hey, Mom. Is that my mother?
Is that your mom?
Not your
mom.
mother.
Embarrassing, I blocked her. I was like, she must have found me.
Another thing that comes across as being awkward is in porn, everybody seems to be down to fuck all the time. There's no, like, anything. It's, hey, I'm going to go to the dentist.
Well, wouldn't it be an awful video if they weren't? Just like, nah, not in the mood.
But it comes across
what
as...
about those porns with... You don't see anybody applying any lube. You're just like...
I'm getting to that. That's my next point.
That's bullet point 8.
That's my next bullet point. Okay?
Oh my God.
But the problem with the whole, like, being down to fuck thing constantly is that if someone says no...
Or they walk down the street and look at somebody and then all of a sudden it's
it becomes an issue of consent because there is no such thing as someone saying no in a porn and then it just be...
But does
that
sell porn?
Does
that sell porn?
It doesn't, but that's part of the problem is that we're talking about the translation into real life. You know.
Kids, just stop watching porn.
Good luck.
We'll teach you. Watch this.
Right? And then the other thing, spit is lube. No.
Ooh.
I see...
Oh my God.
I see sometimes I'm watching porn. It doesn't really matter what it is. It could be anything. And this dude is like pounding away at this woman... And she is dry as a bone, which means that there was no build-up, there was no nothing, and for fuck's sake, grab a fucking bottle of lube, anything, even if it's fucking, even if all you have on set is Astroglide.
Can I tell a little story about this?
Absolutely, please.
It's about my first sexual encounter.
Oh, no.
When I was in college, where I was like, actually having anal sex.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this hot guy come over who was going to school to be a cop, which... I thought was really hot because he brought weed over. And
you're breaking the law.
Right. I'm like, ooh, you're a naughty cop. I love it. And he's like, I wasn't really like, I didn't realize I was a top at the time. I'm like, I thought because I'm a feminine person that I had to be a bottom. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it, whatever. And I'm like, I've never done it before. He's like, oh, are you sure you want to do it? Like, I'm like, I'm ready just to do it all. Like, it's been, I love the cornfield.
Right,
I'm ready to live.
It's time.
It's time. He's like, okay. And so I didn't even know about lube. I had no idea about lube. I just
Gatorade.
No Gatorade.
Gatorade is not lube.
So you know what we used? We used condoms as well, which I found this was just why bother after I tell you what I used.
Oh no.
Hand lotion.
Oh my god!
Fuck. It was the only slippery thing I could think of.
Fuck.
I was like, hand lotion. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, sure.
That could not have felt good.
No.
For a multitude of reasons.
It burns.
Fuck, yes, no, hand lotion is not lubricant. Ow.
I would have preferred spit in retrospect.
Yeah.
I would have been like,
yeah.
You know, now that I know what I know.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
So painful.
Fuck, yeah, I'm just like, I'm clenching just thinking about it.
Yeah,
maybe that's why I became
holding
a top.
I'm
like,
holding on to my butt.
Right? Had it been a better experience.
I think I'm a top now.
Right?
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, no.
No.
Like, and you watch these movies with these guys just slamming it into whatever orifice.
Evelyn wants to know what's worse,
lubricant.
Astroglide or coconut oil?
Astroglide.
Coconut oil?
Coconut.
That's too much like food.
And
it's
it stays
hard.
behind.
The problem
They
it
both
does.
stay
It's
behind.
they're both really bad.
In a
That's the
technical
problem.
sense.
The only reason I would say coconut oil over Astroglide would be that coconut oil is at least natural. Astroglide is full of so many fucking chemicals and glycerin and everything. Right? We talked about this last time. Like Astroglide is just one little squeezy bottle full of nothing but chemicals. That is the only reason why I would say coconut oil over Astroglide, but I wouldn't recommend oil anything ever because it doesn't go anywhere. It stays. And that's part of the problem. It may seem slippery, but then you can't get rid of it.
Then you turn your pussy into a pina colada.
Right.
Basically.
You know, and it's
not
just,
a healthy edible.
Right. It's not good. It's not good.
Throw in some ramen, you know, just make it work.
Oh God.
Make it work, Felicia.
And now the last thing is that no matter what's happening, women always orgasm, which is a bunch of horse shit. Because sometimes, it doesn't matter how good of a time you're having, the woman's not always going to orgasm. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good everything is. Doesn't matter if everything's working right. It's not always going to happen. And if you're at some weird angle, which you see some of these angles with some of these cameras, I'm like, there's nothing happening there. Like, you're
so away from the spot.
Right. Yeah. Like, you're not even anywhere near it.
This is
like,
a naive question. So, the women making, you know, they're having orgasms and, you know, just going at it and having a rain fest. Yeah. Tell me that's fake.
You mean the squirting?
Yes.
So squirting.
Oh, so we're going to go there.
I mean, because
have we not talked about squirting?
I don't think so. I think we mentioned it before.
Topic for next week. So
I'll watch back.
I will.
All
I don't think we have actually, but I will actually make that.
That drives me absolutely crazy. Like the guy is like, "Oh, I'm just gonna barely touch you."
So squirting by itself is one of those things that you can't.
My hands almost flew off.
Like you can't really fake that. That's one of those things that you can't really fake. However, there are things that you can do to kind of help it along, if that makes sense.
I just watch that sometimes and I'm like,
there's some things when I'm watching it and I'm like, that's not
Can
entirely...
I ask a question? You know? Why are you watching this?
I like straight porn.
Why?
We've talked about this before.
Well, hey, honey, 7 years. Like, I don't catch me up.
I don't like gay porn. It doesn't do anything for me.
No, I can understand that because I don't really care about porn.
It's kind of like the lesbian porn thing.
Yeah.
It kind of has like this.
Yeah.
And every once in a while you find a good gay porn, but
I enjoy a good sort of bisexual MMF kind of situation. That's you know, but usually like somebody set up like a camera in their bedroom type of thing. The stuff that's directed is just awful. Don't even bother. But okay, so yes, squirting. I will talk about that next week. So tune in next week for
I came up with the topic for next week.
But generally, yes, when it comes to squirting, like you can't really fake it, but there are things that you can do to kind of help it along. I'll explain next week.
Yes. If you don't know
what a cliffhanger.
I know. Dun, dun, dun. Tune in next week to see what happens.
Early question. Gina wants to know, have you ever written an erotic story?
Oh.
Well, Gina.
Since we're getting in to get to know you.
Season 2 of Blaze.
No. Unfortunately, for spoiler alert, my soap opera that I am writing and that I will be writing for however long until I'm bored with it, will have no sex. It's not.
Oh.
I'm gonna write that.
So
that has now inspired me to write some fan fiction.
Yeah, you can.
Oh my god, we should do that and read it on air.
Please do the fan fiction.
I'm gonna do the fan fiction, and then we're gonna read it. It's gonna be a PG extra.
I don't think I've ever written anything that's like an
erotic soap opera.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, do a slutty one.
Yes.
It'd be like a parallel.
Or do like a
parallel.
Say why they're angry at each other because so and so.
It's all the stuff you don't
know.
see.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever written like an erotic anything that was where it was like where that was like the
whole point
was
of
like
it.
For it to be erotic. I just my what interests me about writing is just outrageous, ridiculous storylines, over the top dramatics. Like I love actual soap operas. I love what you see on TV on a soap opera.
So speaking of soap operas, tell us about this new project that you're venturing
that was a good
on.
segue.
Thank you.
I got a good one. Well, I am working on an audio melodrama. So it is a theater of the mind, as Gino said. It is in the mind. And it is called Blazed All Our Lives. It is a parody. Obviously, the name is a parody on Days of Our Lives, which is my favorite.
That was it.
It's my favorite soap opera.
It's also one of the longest running, I believe.
It is. My partner actually got me into, like, as a child, I watched One Life to Live in General Hospital. That was really
One Life to Live.
One Life to Live in General Hospital as a very young child. That's what really kind of got me into doing or interested in soap operas, and ever since then, since childhood, I've been obsessed with them my whole life. And that was actually, as a kid, the very first thing I ever wrote was a soap opera. And it was a series I wrote for many, many years. Set in a town called Misty River.
Nice.
Which is where when I decided to write the soap opera as an adult with completely different
behind the scenes.
Yeah, completely different cast, obviously, just very different. I'm like, well, where do I want to put it? Where do I want to set it? And I'm like, I'm going to put this fucking thing in Misty River. This town I've written about my whole life. This fictitious Midwestern town. And I just, really married the rich, over-the-top dramaticness of Dynasty with, kind of the soap opera tropes that you see on, any of the daytime soap operas. Right, all the ridiculous, someone's in a coma, someone's got an evil twin, secret passageways, like all the, crime families, like all the, the tropes that
somebody's sleeping with somebody, you didn't expect.
And that will happen. It's not going to be graphically sexual. We allude to it, but that's just not. I'm not interested in that. I'm more interested in people slapping each other. I'm more interested in
the whole
enemies and fighting and vengeance and powerful rich people. So I'm
not powerful or rich. I suppose I'm just.
Well,
do you need some poor people? Because we could.
I do have poor people.
We can technically read on that.
I do have
there for
poor
this.
people. Passions was
Passions.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That was
I will say
that was so bad.
That I loved Passions.
I
fucking loved, and a lot of the characters or a lot of the actors from Passions ended up on Days of Our Lives. Teddy, they ended up on Days of Our Lives. If you don't know, they fucking did. And I'm like, oh my god,
Passions was so bizarre.
Yes,
I was like, what the fuck?
But I took there is an element.
Yes, no, I can totally see that.
Like you're like. They escalated it.
It was they had like a mystical, magical bend.
Yeah.
So in Blazed All Our Lives, it's like Dynasty plus Charmed plus Twin Peaks. Kind of all mixed together. There is like magical elements.
Yeah.
Which are only going to get more ridiculous over time.
I can't wait.
But it started off as a Christmas special for my podcast, Joy Bomb. I do a Christmas special every year, and it was just going to be my Christmas special, and I'm just going to do a soap opera for a Christmas special. It was just going to be a one-time thing, and I wrote an hour-long special, and it came together so beautifully, and I cast a lot of local people. I have my drag daughter, Rosie Bush, Pandora Desstranger, Joanne Michaels, and me. We're like the stars. We're like the four main characters. And then there's a lot of, secondary characters. Yo-Yo Blackfire is a character. Carnita Asada is in this. You are in this, season 1.
I'm so excited. Just hit him upside down.
Espresso Grande is in, Eve All. I'm just trying to go through my list.
There's like a whole... God, Jesus.
I have like 23 cast members. It is narrated by Sister Bang Bang Ladesh, who is a sister in Manchester, England.
Oh, wow.
Who has worked for the BBC, does this professionally, like voiceover stuff, editing, sound editing. Does this professionally. Is so amazing and incredible, and really this is Bang Bang's show. Really,
yeah, the rest of us are just
we're all
just supporting characters.
We're all secondary to Sister Bang Bang. Yeah. So so it started off just as a special, and then I got so inspired that I started to write out basically 3 seasons worth of plot lines and ideas, and then I just kept writing more, and I'm like, I think I have about 5 seasons worth of major plot points.
I can't wait till I'm in a coma, but then my twin, who is really like my uncle brother, comes in and
not the uncle brother. Who's your grandpa?
Who's really my grandpa? Who?
There's a lot of that incestual kind of weird stuff emblazed.
I can't wait.
But your character is Detective Jim Brinkman, and his character is like a kind of a shady cop, not really, but just kind of does like a lone wolf. Like he means well, but he has a past.
It happens.
He has a dark past that is used against him as leverage.
And I'm sure that will come back to bite me.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Yeah, blackmail. He gets blackmailed.
God damn it.
But I have some good ideas for you for this.
I'm excited. We're doing our first read through on Saturday.
On Saturday we're gonna do the read through.
He's not busy at all.
I told you I had to do something earlier on Saturday, which is why I had to get my hair cut later.
Surprise! That's why. No, it's fine. Doing a read through.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be super, super fun. But you kind of opted to go with that. And you've ended your podcast.
Well,
and instead,
I'll talk.
Tell us about this. Tell us.
So I have a podcast called Joy Bomb. I've done 259 episodes. I've been doing it for about 5 years, a little over 4 years, and
you did that weekly.
Weekly. I mean, Jesus Christ. Sometimes more than 1 episode a week in the beginning. I was just like doing like 5 episodes a fucking week. I was just like, pumping them out. And then
lube, huh?
No. Lotion, hand lotion. All hand lotion. So,
extra scented hand lotion.
Yes. Very painful. And when I hit episode 200, I was like, I think I'm done. I hit my milestone. I'm like, I wanted to at least get the first 100 episodes. I'm like, I'm going to get 200, and then I'm like, done. And I hit 200, and I was really thinking of giving it up, and I had no idea what I'd do. But then I'm like, no, we'll keep going, and I'll make 300 my goal. I'll stop at 300. So after doing season 13, which I just ended in October, while I then switched to do Blaze All Our Lives, I've been preparing for season 14, and I just got to the point where I'm like, this is such a big undertaking to do audio soap opera, which it requires scripts, which I'm writing everything. I have to direct it. I have to edit it, record it, do the sound, do the marketing, everything.
You need to start outsourcing.
It's a big project in itself. And then I'm like trying to do that in tandem with Joy Bomb, and I was just going, I'm just dreading this season 14. And then when I felt that, I'm like, okay, we're done. I have to stop it.
Just subscribed. Can't wait to listen later this week.
So, I will be doing episode 260, which is a season 13 in review. But it will end.
Mm-hmm.
The show will end. However, I have a lot of things in mind for my archives. Things to do with my archives. Special episodes, like the best of Joy Bomb, the best of Big Mel, who's my best friend and a huge part of my show. The best of, Sister Bang Bang.
So the show itself, like the regular episodes will end, but you're still going to be releasing content.
I will, yeah. I will, because I want to do, there's so much of my show that people have never heard because they came in late and I didn't have it online. So there's all this stuff, like, the best of me, oversharing, saying some really inappropriate oversharing, just spilling my guts kind of stuff, or, all different themes. So I will take my expensive backlog and I will do stuff with it. So it's not like it's goodbye forever.
Right.
I just don't want to have that as a weekly responsibility.
And if you choose not to do it, then...
Yeah,
when you choose to release stuff...
Yeah, I can do it whenever. And I can make these episodes whenever. I can just make them whenever at my leisure. I can just release them at will. So I will be officially ending Joy Bomb and transitioning full-time over to doing Blazed All Our Lives and writing more seasons and getting it cast and doing all the recording.
But this sounds so exciting.
It is so much fun.
You definitely, you're sort of a jack of all trades. You do all of these things. You've got the podcast, you've got Blazed All Our Lives, you've got all these things, and you also have albums.
I do. This year I'll be releasing an album, which is actually to celebrate the 20th anniversary of my first album being released. Which I released independent. I had never been signed to a label. No one wanted me.
Wow.
I just independently produced all this music my whole life.
We love you anyway.
Yeah. So before I became a sister, before I started doing drag and doing anything like that, since I was probably like 14 or 15, I have been writing and recording and performing music. Wow. So to me, like, if you would have asked me at 16, what I'd be doing in 20 years or 10 years or 15 years, I would have nothing but music I would not allow anything. No.
Whoa.
You would have asked me, I'm like, of course I'll be making records and touring. Like, duh. Like, music was what I'll be doing. And I would never allow anything else into my brain or my mind. It was all music. And I did that until I was almost 30. Wow. Where, I was releasing albums, independently releasing work, collaborating with these different people. I had a band called Susan Get Down on iTunes. You can find us on iTunes. That's the only thing you can find, actually, on iTunes. Everything else, I'm like, So I want to do something special for the 20th anniversary of my first album coming out. So I'm like, what can I do? So I was going to re-record the whole thing, like the whole album. I mean, it's only 5 songs. Calm down. It's an EP. But I'm like, I could re-record the whole thing and like maybe do like a live album version of it. But I decided that I would work with a collaborator and have it be like an electronic version of... So basically, it's like a very slow, loungy kind of debut album that has been morphed into Witch House. Like if Grimes were to produce my album, it sounds like we're still in the demo phase of all the songs, but it will come out this year, and it is fucking incredible.
That's exciting. That kind of coincides with your 40th birthday.
Yes, I'm turning 40 next week.
What?
On Tuesday. Oh, shut up, you know. Wow. You're an actress. I'll write you into season 2. Calm down. She's like, this is my audition, bitch.
I had no idea. I had no idea. Oh my god.
Yes.
I'm stunned.
Yes.
I'm stunned.
And I'm excited to turn 40, and everyone...
Besides the pain.
We've talked about this, like, before with different people. I'm not mad about turning 40 either, because I'm not far behind you. I'm going to be turning 40 in July.
What day?
17th.
Okay.
So
my mother's birthday is the 18th.
Excellent.
And my grandmother. And my aunt.
Holy shit.
All the same day.
Jesus.
All the same day.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad about it. Like, in my head, I don't, besides my body being fucking broken.
Right.
In my head, I don't really feel 40.
Oh, no, me neither.
And part of it, I in talking to people, and I've said this before, I think has to do with transitioning. Because I think had I not transitioned, I think I would feel more my age.
Yeah.
But...
You got a do-over.
And that's exactly it.
Yeah.
In essence, I'm only 4. Like, I'm well, I guess I'm almost 5 now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hit the reset button almost 5 years ago, and it gave me almost right. It almost gave me sort of a second lease on life. So turning 40, I don't always feel my age. I don't always look my age. I have people that still assume that I'm like early 30s and stuff, which I'm like, okay, I'm not mad about that. That's fine. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I'm not, like. It's a big deal. There were some times when I didn't think I would make it to 40 for one reason or another, you know, and you know, it's
isn't that weird how you like think like when you're younger, like you're like, oh God, I'll never be like 40, and you're like, and then you like it comes around, you're like, hey, whoa.
Well, I think the fact that it does time really does start picking up when you have to work for a living. Right. You know, that's really... So I'm like, why is it that, like, you know, when you're a kid and a teenager, it's like just...
I can't wait to be 18.
It just drags on, and I'm like, oh, it's because you don't have a fucking full-time job.
Right, and then all of a sudden you have a job, and then you do all this other shit, and you're like, oh,
and just the weeks start whizzing by, the months, the years, and...
It's almost February.
I know.
Oh.
Like, New Year's just happened.
I know.
Wasn't that last week?
Right, and that's how it feels. It's like, wait, what? Yeah. What do you mean it's almost February? Yeah. Like, it's... Yeah, like, I think the older you get and the more things that you're doing and the more things that you have on your plate, it's like, it just keeps speeding up. And it's like, whoa.
Eddie is excited for your album.
All right.
Evelyn's birthday is July 12th.
Hey! Didn't ask her, but that's okay.
Right. I mean, nobody cares, Evelyn. I'm just kidding.
Ryan's birthday is on Sunday, and he'll be 34.
Oh, okay.
And Ryan sent the rules. Oh, wow, I didn't look at time is still
Indica. Right. What was that band name again? Looked up Susan Get Downs. It's Susan Get Down. The album is called Oral Sex, Volume 1. The album is very slutty.
Wow.
It's real filthy. So that's as close I got to erotica, was that album.
Wow.
Very filthy. There you go. You get what you asked for.
And that's AURAL, you know, because I'm
right.
And
You're
sex
original.
is like 3 X's, you know, because I'm
of
so
course.
cool.
Right.
It was 2007. Give me a break. But, you know, I'm turning 40.
What are you doing to celebrate that?
Nothing.
Oh.
I'm going to LA later in the month to see Robin.
Robin.
I'm a big my partner and I are huge Robin fans.
Nice.
So we're gonna go see her show. Okay. So that's kind of like and I'm also going to see my pal Nico Case next week is performing at not next week, 2 weeks. She's performing at the Van Buren.
Oh.
So that's kind of like
here in town.
Yeah, here in town.
I was like,
so
Van Buren, is that in LA too?
That's here. so I'm kind of like that's how I'm really spraying it out. I'll be spending it that way. But even though like I'm excited about it, and I love the aging process. I love how we change, how we grow, and I love to look back and go, wow, you know, when I was in my 20s, all I wanted to do was cocaine and party till 3 a.m. all the time, and now I'm like, Epsom salts.
Right.
I want to soak in a tub of Epsom salts. I'm just like, I just love to watch, like, you know, and look back and go, how different am I now? Isn't that wild?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
how we change, how our priorities change. Like, I spent the weekend at Home Depot shopping for plants to make my patio look so adorable. When I would have, you know, I would have been day drinking. But, you know, doing like a beer bus or something like that. You know, like that was. Yeah. But
wait,
now
I
I'm
still
like,
do that.
I need to do it. Well, you know, it's been dry January.
No, it's not as has not been as much because Felicia got in trouble last year.
Did you get kicked out of some place?
She got kicked out and was left there.
Boy, have I misjudged you. Wow, you're a mess.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You're messy.
She walked home from BS West once.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, hold on. That's not that far. That's not okay.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
yes, it is. It took me 6 hours to walk here.
Oh wow. Couldn't you get an Uber?
I was too drunk to even.
You couldn't even. You couldn't even select your location.
Nope.
Like, I don't know where I am on this map.
Yep.
And the last time I got way drunk.
Felicia's not
blacked out.
Oh.
And was left in front of the bar where I was attending.
Wow.
Felicia's not allowed to go out unattended anymore.
Oh my god.
I'm not even drinking tonight.
Well, maybe I need to introduce you to a little thing that we do every year, which is dry January.
I haven't drank anything because I had the stomach flu.
The whole month?
No, like for 3 or 4 days.
Well, I'm on day 30, and I've had it.
So
I can't wait to drink tomorrow.
Speaking of like changing priorities and things like that, you announced a few days ago that you are no longer affiliated with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay, well,
I like how you both got really quiet.
Like, this is like
is this NPR?
This is like a Barbara Walters moment.
Oh wait,
I won't cry.
I'm gonna sit across from you and look at you.
I'm not
really
crying.
Intently.
Trust me, I'm not crying. Lord have mercy. I became a sister back in December of 2008 in San Diego, and again, this is coming off of me. This is right when I was turning 30. This came off of me being a musician for 15 years. You know, an artist, multimedia artist, writing trash, singing dumb songs, and that was my life. Very, self-contained, very much like a lone wolf doing all my own stuff. I'm an independent artist. I'm doing my own thing. Have a collaborator, but bye. Okay, on to the next thing. No, nothing that very long term. I was always doing my own thing, always in control, always the boss. So then I hit a point in my life where I'm just like, you know what? This is not fulfilling me emotionally anymore. It's not fulfilling me. I wrote and did all this work really as a way of doing therapy. Right. All my music was very about me working through problems, through issues, and I wanted to put the music out in the world and have people hear it and go, maybe feeling less alone in the world. So that was my mission as an artist, was to heal people through art. And then I discovered the Sisters, and I'm like, it didn't even dawn on me to even join because I'm a musician, bitch. That's what I do. That's what I do, and there's no room for anything else. I wouldn't even entertain the idea. But then as time went on, I'm like, you know what? I'm not really satisfied. It's not fulfilling me. And boy, does it look like they're doing some good shit. Like, ooh, there's just something about them. And my partner was like, he just knew I always loved seeing them in the pride parades. I always loved them. He's like, go say hi to them. I'm like, no, those bitches look scary. Like, they don't look nice at all. I don't want to approach them. So eventually, in San Diego, I just saw one of the sisters, and my partner was like, you should do that. He's like, you should do that. And I'm like, but you're not into drag, and you don't like drag, and that's not, he's so macho, and, it's just, there's no queen in him at all. Right. Not at all. Very straight acting. Very straight passing. But I love him anyway. I turned him into a big old fag over the years, honey. I found this old, this straight acting hippie. I turned him into a complete fag. Healing through art. So I saw them. He's like, you should join them. And I'm like, am I good enough? Am I a good enough person to do this? Because they just seem like selfless, amazing people. And I don't think I'm a good person that they would want me, because I'm just a mess. Like, why would, they're amazing and they're so altruistic. Why would they want me? So I ended up joining in December of 2008. I finished the whole process in March of 2010, where I got my black veil, took my vows. You're a sister for life at that point. And I ended up moving to LA, and I served in that house for several years. And I think it was when I was there, and that's really when things exploded for me. Like, I was on Transformations with James St. James. It was, like, right when it first started. Like, episode 13. Literally, episode 13.
Look that up.
Yeah, it's up there. So, episode 13 of Transformations. I was on that. I was in one of Berlin's videos, the band Berlin. Take it by the way. I was in one of their music videos. I was doing all this media stuff, and, I was always at these events and parties, and, I was always being photographed or, caught on film somewhere. So, like, I just exploded as a name and a personality in LA, while simultaneously just realizing that, I don't think this is for me. The sisterhood, because it just wasn't what I thought, and it was my fault for having any expectations. You see a group of people that are very loving to the community, and you're like, oh, they're gonna like take me in, and I'm finally someone that understands me. Finally a group that gets me. They'll totally, like, this is so right. And no, bitch. They did not get it. They did not get me. And so I ended up eventually, moving away from LA. I moved to Florida for a bit. I was in a house there. And then when I came here in 2017, or at the end of 2016, Halloween day, mind you.
Huh.
I'm like, you know what? I'm not meant for that kind of structure. A lot of rules, a lot of like oversight.
You've been on your own.
A lot of oversight and a lot of political bullshit that like power grabs and basically it's exactly like any other organization.
Right.
And that was my fault for thinking it would be anything other than a group of people coming together, and you have, of course, there's always people who are power hungry and want to have positions for power and control others and treat them badly and bully people and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I can't deal with people being bullied. I can't deal with people being disrespected. I will not tolerate disrespect. It won't happen. I don't put up with it. So when you're part of an organization of any kind, you kind of have to play politics a bit. You have to, bite your tongue, and you have to. And I'm just like, girl,
and not say certain things.
Yeah. Amen.
Hostess.
Saying amen. So it just got to the point where I'm like, you know what, my path and my personality type is not meant. There's a reason why I didn't join any groups before. It's just not my nature. It's not my nature to.
But it's okay to be that way.
Oh yeah, like I know I have my issues, my personality flaws, and I'm a mess. I know that about myself, but I also understand that I ain't the only fucking mess. Okay? I ain't the only fucking mess, and I would just say to anyone, not just the sisters, of course. I'm not picking on the sisters, though. I will be writing a book. By the way, another 2019 project. So there will be a book, and I will go into very explicit details because. When it's true, it ain't slander.
That's what I told Felicia.
When it's true, and it ain't slander. So just prepare, take your ceases and desists, and just toss them out. I'm going to tell the truth.
I told Felicia a couple of weeks ago.
I'm going to tell the truth, and if you don't like the truth,
I don't know what those are.
If you don't like the truth about yourself being told, then you should be nicer to people. That's all I'll say. But it doesn't matter. It's like any group, and I really expect them to be different, and that was my fault.
I think it's one of those things where
I relate to that so much right now.
It doesn't matter what group it is, and even if it's an organization or not an organization,
it's just a group of people.
A group of people, whether it's burlesque, whether it's drag, whether it's the sisters, whether it's whatever. There's always politics. There's always bullshit. There's always people that are trying to be better than you so that they can have some sort of control over you.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter. There's
I'm
backstabbing.
I'm a mess too.
Everything in whatever group it is.
Yeah.
The difference is, I guess, is how folks within that group choose to deal with or accept or not accept that bullshit that happens. I mean, it is possible to nip that shit in the bud, and there have been people in like the drag community that have been essentially ousted because of bullshit, and people have said, "We're done, enough, that's it," and so that's it doesn't matter what group people it is. You're always gonna have the bullshit, you're always gonna have the drama, you're always gonna have the politics, but it's how you and that community chooses to.
You have to be able
deal
to handle
with that.
Yeah, and people, and the thing is that people. And this is one of the things that really, I was just like, oh, you fucking bitches, I can't deal with you people. Are you serious? The hypocrisy of presenting yourself as a loving person while simultaneously choking to death. Yeah.
You're choking on that shade.
I didn't mean to shake you quite like that.
Shooketh.
Yeah, it's like,
it's fine, I'm dying.
The hypocrisy of presenting yourself
Don't die on air. Put your arms up.
Yeah. Do you need to? No! Now he's going to be in traction.
No.
Damn.
He stopped choking.
Okay. So, I'll say, the hypocrisy of presenting yourself as a loving, caring person to the community while simultaneously being an evil cunt behind the scenes. To me, I can't deal with I can't deal with inauthenticity. And yes, you can put a pound of makeup on your face and still be authentic. That doesn't change shit. So don't come for me and say, oh, but you do drag. How authentic, bitch?
No.
You can do drag and be an authentic human being at the same time. It is possible.
It's one thing, and that happens in the drag community more.
I have something to say to this.
Yes.
So every morning I put good morning, and I do like the whole like. Sometimes I'll put positive words, or sometimes I'll put except for. I haven't done one of those in a while, but I came up with a couple. Next week. I haven't been on Facebook. I need a break. But sometimes I'll get messages that say, "You're not really like that, are you?" And I'm like, I don't know. Ask people that hang out with me. I mean, you know me. If you don't think that. There is an option that says delete, block, shoot,
do I love
goodbye.
Oh, I love it.
I hadn't used it until recently when people realized that they thought that they could disrespect me on my Facebook
space
page.
On your page anyway for people that actually...
I mean, but what I was saying to that is that people have no respect for other people in their regard because they think that if you are these positive... people that you're supposed to live up to the standard, and then I don't know, I feel like they put people on these pedestals. A lot of community leaders get put on these pedestals, and when they do bad or they are not who you thought they were going to be, then it's all of a sudden it's like I want to rip out your heart, or I mean, just really.
Was it Eleanor Roosevelt that said when people show you who they are the first time, believe them?
And Maya Angelou.
Wasn't it somebody like that?
Yeah. And that's so true.
And that's exactly what it is. Like there are people that I used to hold in very high regard, and then all of a sudden they would do something that really took me aback. I was like, wow. And I've lost all respect for people. And it's hurtful when that happens because you
create a picture,
right? And because of the way that they have treated you or whatever, and then you realize that everything that they've said, everything they've done is complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, awesome. That's why, like with me, you don't have to like everybody.
I don't.
I don't either. But
I don't.
I don't think anybody loves or likes.
There's a difference between being fake and being professional. And for me, even if I don't like you, if I see you, if you say hi, I'll say hi.
Right.
I'm cordial.
I believe in being professional. Unless I really fucking hate you.
And
then I don't even see you. Like, you're not even in the room.
Right.
Just when you see me out, just observe.
Generally,
who I don't see.
Generally, if I'm not like super keen on you, I will not approach you.
Oh no.
So you have to say hi to me. I will say hi.
Yeah, you'll be professional.
How you doing? And then I will walk away.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. But I see some of these people, they're like, oh my god, hi, how are you? I missed you. And I'm like,
no, you don't.
That's a bunch of horse shit. I know what you say about that person.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you say about that person, and you need to just stop.
Yeah.
I love the people that are like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. I was wondering what you were up to. I'm like, bitch, the Facebook is right there, and there's a message button. You could tell the people that actually care about you, because then, like, if I don't talk to him for a couple days, he'll be like, are you dead?
Are you
but, like, these people that are like, oh, I've been meaning to talk to you. I'm like, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, and he wants to know how many pages are going to be in the book and if it's going to be an audiobook. Do you need someone with a sultry voice to read chapter 1?
I'm going to read my own book, thank you.
Whatever.
Whoa!
Yes, there will be an audiobook.
Fine!
I don't know how many pages it's going to be because I haven't written it yet, but I'm going to write it this year.
It's fine.
Oh, wait.
When all the reviews for Blaze
All of Our Lives
come out, and then everybody on the
reviews
reviews is going to talk about how awesome the detective is, and then you're going to have to make a bigger role.
Is there going to be a spinoff?
We're talking about spin-offs.
Well, I will say, actually, yes, there is going to be a slight spin-off, which will be another project for 2019. Another reason why I can't do Joy Bomb, because
all the things happening.
I'm going to be writing just like a 30-minute piece, which will be, featuring the stars of Blazed All Our Lives, maybe one or two other characters, because I want to keep it small so that we can perform it live. And I won't need a huge cast. I won't need. I want to keep it small into 30 minutes. So we'll have like performances beforehand. You know, the cast that's going to be there will, you know, because they're drag queens. I'll have them perform. I have an album coming out, so I'll sing one of my songs or something like that beforehand, and then we'll do the 30-minute episode, and then we'll have a DJ. So I've already planned. I've already gotten in the works.
So I just have to say, being involved in this, I'm actually really excited. I have done theater ever since I was little. And
yeah, you volunteered for this.
I did, and
I put a little casting call.
Like
I'll do it.
I have like one of the very first pictures of me doing theater. I was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in kindergarten.
See.
Like I have been in theater ever since I was little, and there was a chunk of time after college, or it was actually during college, and then up until current time, basically, when I stopped doing theater because when you present as a butch woman, there is nothing out there for you.
Yeah.
And to put myself in a role that would require me to wear either a wig or a dress or something was not going to happen. I wonder why. Right? And, you know, so I haven't done theater in years. Drag was a way for me to get back into that. Mm-hmm. And so, and I have on my phone an app with all the old school, like old-time radio shows.
Yes.
Benny, all of them. All of them. And I used to listen to them religiously because there was a radio station in Chicago when we lived in Michigan. It was 104.3. And at night, I think it was like 2 or 3 times a week, starting about like 8 o'clock, they would broadcast the old radio shows. So I remember listening to Alfred Hitchcock. I remember listening to The Green Hornet. The Shadow, all of these. I absolutely fucking loved it. And I've always been told I'm an old soul anyway. Mm-hmm. So when the opportunity, I'm like, me. And so Sister Indica was like, yeah, here, you can do this. So I'm actually really excited for it because it actually gives me a chance to kind of get back into the theater portion of things. Yeah. When it's something I haven't done in,
you don't have to say the years.
Way too long.
And a lot of the cast comes from a theater background. Mm-hmm. I don't really come from a theater background. I come from a recording studio background. So I approach doing this project like I would make an album. You know, you have each track, you know, blah, 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 blah. You record it, and then you just get it right, and then you move on. So it's all very, you know, very micro-focused. Like, it's just very micro-focused. A lot of my cast are theater people, and it's just such a different... It's like, I'm trying to, like... You don't understand, like, we're not going to have a group rehearsal. We're not doing a show. Like, we're not going to have a group rehearsal. We're not going to... You know, it's like... It's so different. Like, you're not all going to be in the same room together. You may never even hear this person's performance. Mm-hmm. But you have to trust me as a director.
Is that who you did the Christmas special?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you have to trust me as a producer and a director that I have a vision. I have it all. I work backward. So I know exactly what needs to be done. I know what you're going to sound like, and I know what they're going to sound like, and I will bring them to your level whether you're there or not. So, you know, so it's like you have to just trust that I have a vision and I know what I'm doing. And so I think a lot of people, when I do this, they're like very nervous.
All
like,
the theater kids are like, what?
And I'm just like, you just have to trust me. And then when it came together, I'm like,
well, there's some...
Do you see what I'm talking... Bitch, do you see?
There's some
do you trust me now?
That people play like multiple characters. They're not sitting right in front of the supporting actor. Yeah. They're like... It's probably like this one person sitting there
and someone's reading
lines. They're talking to a green ball.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
You know? Like, it's...
I mean, if you saw Space Jam, those poor people.
Yeah.
Right?
Those poor people.
They're talking to just balls on sticks. That's what 90% of these movies are today anyway. Like,
right. So it caused some of my cast some anxiety. I could feel it. But I'm just like, you have to understand, I'm approaching this. This is not a play. This is completely different. This is more like you're going in to record an album, more so than it is you're going out to perform a show.
Mm-hmm.
You should have them listen to some of the old time radio shows.
Yeah.
Like some of the the readers there's like a Campbell's Soup drama hour.
Yeah.
You should have them listen to some of those so they can kind of get the idea.
Well, like I know that Days of Our Lives began as a radio show.
It did.
Oh.
So I knew that it started there.
Yep.
But I never listened to a radio show or one of these I never listened to one of these dramas, and I honestly thought I was being so cutting edge.
Did you?
Like look at she's like, you're so adorable.
That's
you
cute.
fucking moron. I'm like, I'm gonna do this thing. It's gonna be like kind of like an old time radio show, but it's gonna be modern. It's gonna be like audio drama. Oh my god, I'm so cutting edge. And then I realized it is a very well established genre with tons of shows. So then I'm like, okay, now that I know that I'm not.
There's the Campbell Playhouse, Command Performance, Lux Radio Theater, Mercury Theater, Radio Reader's Digest, Screen Guild Theater.
Oh, they read
These are all they're all the dramas.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm so smart and so cutting edge and so creative. And then
you are.
So then I found this website where I just Google. I'm like, okay, let me hear the top best, most popular audio dramas to get a feeling for how they produce it, because I kind of had Blaze done, and I'm like, well, how does it stack up? And I don't really think they're that good. The others.
Oh,
I'm like, I may not be cutting edge. It may not be the most. It may not be a new idea, but the quality.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's because of me, even though I did most of it. It really is it's the actors.
And that's I've
cast.
noticed that too with
it
some
is
of
the fucking cast.
I've noticed that too with some of the ones because I have a whole shit ton of podcasts and stuff that I listen to, and some of the drama whatever. I remember listening to it, and they have some well-known people, and I'm like, the problem is that they're so used to the visual. You know, they're used to all of that. They're not used to actually having to act with just their voice.
Right, perform for the ear.
Right, and that's exactly it. They're so used to people watching them, so they can get away with things with their looks. They can get away with facial expressions. Right. They can get away with all this other stuff.
That's all gone with audio drama.
Nothing. You have none of that. It's you and a microphone, and nobody can see you.
I think that's what's interesting about audiobooks is that, celebrities write books, and then all of a sudden they read the book, and you're like,
I will say...
I'm like, oh god, this is
I
horrible.
will tell you an audiobook to listen to.
Which one?
That is so amazing. I didn't want to read the book because I'm like, I want to hear it because I heard this person read it, so I wanted to hear them do it because they got a great voice. It is Kristen Johnston from Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh,
She wrote a book called Guts, and it's about her battle with drug and alcohol addiction.
Oh, wow.
And how she basically sobered up. And it's her kind of rebuilding her life after.
She does have a good voice. I could.
Oh my god! This book will make you bawl your eyes out. Oh, wow. You will laugh until you are on the floor.
So she knows how to read her own book. There are some people that do not know how to read their own books.
It's well written. It's well written, and it is so well performed as an audiobook. And anytime anyone says audiobook, I'm like, you gotta get Guts.
I will have to find that.
Guts. It is. I was on a business trip. And my friend had an Audible account. Yep. My coworker, he's like, oh, I'm like, I really am just bored. I'm not going to be doing anything tonight. Do you have an account? And he's like, yeah, here's my login. I'm like, I really want to hear this book. And so I just sat in my hotel room in San Diego, eating room service, and just listened to the entire book.
Oh, wow.
In one sitting. It was my whole night. I was just listening. I was addicted. I was so engrossed. I couldn't put it down. It was so amazing.
I'll have to get it. I have an Audible. I have an Audible subscription.
You have to get Kristen Johnston, her audiobook, Guts. It's incredible.
Well, we are about there.
We are over. That's all right.
See, that's why people don't invite me to things. I talk too much.
Oh, no,
we're fine.
We've gone 2 hours or more before. Don't worry.
Right? We have gone over an hour
We like to talk a lot.
Okay, good.
So.
What do you have coming up for folks besides stuff?
Well, I would just say subscribe to my dual shows, Joy Bomb and Blaze, all in the same place. Mm-hmm. They share it because I'm too cheap to buy 2 different subscriptions and pay for hosting for 2 different things. Mm-hmm. That's why it's on one. But you can get it on iTunes. You can get it on Podomatic, iTunes.
Wherever you get podcasts.
Google
basically.
Play, Spotify. Get it there. And my focus now is really just diving into production of Blazed All Our Lives season 1.
Wait to hear.
I'm very excited. We'll do a premiere party.
Oh.
We'll do a special where people could actually hear the first maybe 2 episodes. So maybe we'll do 2. We'll do 2. It's like it's an hour. Right. 30 minutes each. So we'll do 2 episodes, and I'm trying to maybe do film bar.
That would be a good setting.
Thinking about, and we'll do a whole party. So we'll be talking about it. Just follow me. Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
All the things.
Just Google. Just Google me.
Felicia and I have Cat Bingo coming up on February 22nd. Theme is superheroes. So wear all your fun superhero shit.
Like your hat.
I know. That's what I had in my original outfit until I decided I wasn't matching. I forgot to fill that part out. I have, on the 21st, I am hosting the next Raw event, which I'm always excited about. I always have a good time at the Raw events. And on the 24th of February, I am actually booked in Late Night Snacks with Benediction. I'm really excited about that.
So we have a birthday. We share a birthday.
Oh,
wow.
Benediction and I, February 5th. We're birthday twins.
Nice.
Yeah. Happy birthday, bitch.
I'm excited for the show. I've gone to it a couple times now, so so I'm gonna be there on the 24th. I'm looking for gigs for February. If anybody's got anything, let me know. Nationals is coming up quick. No, really, I'll take pretty much anything at this point. Nationals is please pay me. Nationals coming up quick, and I am willing to work for every fucking dollar I can. It's gonna start this month. February is going to be my crunch time. For me, it's going to be my late night staying up and stoning stuff and finishing things and, getting that. I've treated myself well for the most part in January. I've gone to bed on time. I've not stressed myself out.
Now you need to not be broken.
Right. That's the thing. I need to not be broken. So February is going to be sort of my push month because I don't want to be pushing in March.
Can they pay you in Epsom salt?
That would be wonderful. I will take donations of Epsom salt. That's fine.
He has the Amazon gift list.
Right. I do have an Amazon wish list for stuff pageant related, mostly things like makeup, some Visa gift cards if anybody's so inclined, that kind of thing. Because my dancers are going to need quite a bit of makeup for what we're doing. So I know there's at least one person has gotten me something off that list, so whoever that was, thank you.
Wasn't me because I'm cheap. Yeah. Sorry.
That's fine.
Some of this stuff is fairly inexpensive.
I don't care.
She's
cheap and selfish.
I don't
see why those bitches hated me. I had to leave.
Well,
I never chose.
But that link was shared in the Fefe group for anybody that is interested and anybody that wants to help. Those are the last few things that I need. Everything else is pretty much taken care of, so that's good. Let's see. And of course, if the Visa gift cards, if anybody decides to go that route, that would be for mostly things like gas, because we're renting a van when we get to Cincinnati to drive to Dayton and all that fun shit.
Gas cards.
Yeah, but gas cards are good, but we don't know what gas stations we're gonna hit in the Midwest. So that's why a Visa gift card would be better.
Just put $500 on a gift card.
That's fine too. I'd be fine with that.
Live
right.
I don't have $500, but you can give $500.
Right, you can do that. Right.
You guys seem like you got money.
Keep an eye out on our Facebook and our Instagram for upcoming guests. We've got people like pop star, gender bender, and professional power bottom Sir Jet coming up. Next week, I believe
we've got... about the lotion.
No, Jesus.
Next
week, I believe we've got Phoenix artist Lisa Von Hoffner. Miss Nature is coming up, I believe, as well. We're going to have another session with body painter and photographer Brandon McGill.
I went to his art.
I was there as well. I was there before.
You were there,
before you guys.
Yeah, and then I met you there.
It's early.
So good.
It was my date night, so we made a stop and then went to have our date. So that we've got all sorts of fun stuff coming up. Once again, we are sponsored by ShellyLoveCreative.com, WigsOfAKind.com, TheBurleyBarbers.com. And of course, our Patreon supporters, Brandon, Leanne, Carrie and Corey, Joan, Casey Starr, and everybody else that supports us on Patreon. If you would like to support us as well, you can go to patreon.com/letshaveafefe.
Be sure to like this episode, subscribe, and share it with all your friends, enemies, and Trump supporters. They love this stuff, especially when we were talking about the wall earlier. And maybe if you want to send them that part,
just that clip, right?
That'll excite them.
They'll love it.
They'll be thrilled.
I mean, if they throw bottles through my windows, they'll love it. You can subscribe to us as a podcast as well. You can listen to us. Maybe you're listening to us right now.
We might be.
Is it creepy?
Can they do that?
Yeah. Listen to us live.
Ooh, on
no,
a podcast?
Listen to us live?
Yeah. On a podcast, no.
Oh, no.
But they
you're saying you're like acting like this is done, and then they're gonna,
They could
They could be listening. I got you. I'm like, sorry. I'm not even stoned. I'm just stupid.
Stop.
Detroit public school education.
Oh my.
You can listen to us on the way to work, as you work, and on the way home on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and more. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, and somewhere else that I don't... Oh, did I put it on there? Yeah, I did. Thanks for watching us live and on the replay. We'll see you next Wednesday for your Wednesday night conversation.
Thank you to Sister Indica for joining us this evening.
You're welcome.
This has
pleasure.
Let's have a Fefe. We enjoy you. We enjoy you. And you guys were very quiet tonight.
I know they were very quiet tonight. People were watching, they were just really quiet.
No, they were completely turned off. I'm sorry.
No,
that's all right. Now I know.
It's only 1 week. Trust me. They'll be back to business next week.
Right.
I'll be here.
It's fine.
Can speak openly and freely.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week.